Hello, guys, and welcome back to another edition of Baseball Talk with the Earl Brothers. My name is Nicholas Earl, and today we've got an update. I know I haven't posted in a minute. We do have an update on a couple moves that have gone down within the last 10 days or so. And we have Luis Robert to the Mets. We have Freddy Peralta to the Mets as well. Cody Bellinger resigns with the Yankees. Mackenzie Gore to the Rangers. Those are the we're talking about in this video. Let's get it started here with the Luis Robert trade to the Mets for Luis Angel Acuna and Truman Pauly, going back to the Chicago White Sox. Now, this is not a great package back if you are the Chicago White Sox. But Luis Angel Acuna is somebody who could play a little bit of center field potentially for the White Sox next year. He's that utility infielder that, honestly, I thought the Mets, if they weren't planning on trading him, probably could have non-tendered him this year. He is out of options, and he is somebody who kind of got squeezed out of that Mets 40-man crunch type of situation there. So they were able to clear up a 40-man roster spot there. And then Truman Pauly was a 12th round draft pick out of Harvard in last year's draft. Don't let that go. Don't let that 12th round number message you too much, though. It was an overslot. They did give him $425,000 to sign him away from Harvard, or away from returning to Harvard, because I think he had one more year left. So he is somebody who got a little bit of a overslot money. Truman Pauly, someone the Mets were kind of interested in, that a lot of people in the prospect world thought this could be the next riser, like a Will Watson or a Jack Wettinger in that Mets system, or not Jonah Tong, but like he had good enough pitch shapes that the Mets liked, that they thought potentially he could be somebody moving up. And on the flip side for the Mets, you get a center fielder where his floor is Tyrone Taylor. He's going to put up gold glove level defense, and his ceiling is an all-star. If you really look at it, he's just 2 years removed from getting MVP votes in that 2023 season with the White Sox. And then they had the worst team in baseball in 2024. And that was when he started falling off. And then last year they were a 100-loss team again. And I feel like Luis Robert is the ultimate definition of a change of scenery candidate. And I think now that he is on a competitive team this upcoming year, we could see better from Luis Robert. But if at the very least, if he hits the way he had the last 2 years, the Mets can easily cut bait. So because they have a club option next year for him as well for, I believe, $20 million. And it's not a huge commitment, and you traded away a 12th round draft pick and somebody who you probably would have not tendered or DFA'd anyway in Luis Angel Acuna, able to get somebody where you need some upside in the if you're looking for some upside. Luis Robert has it, and he's somebody who I definitely think can be good for the Mets in 2026. Talk about someone who could be good for the Mets in 2026, Freddy Peralta. Arguably the top trade candidate arm, if Tariq Skubal is not on the market, is Freddy Peralta, and they gotta haul the Brewers, Brandon Sproat and Jet Williams. And yes, these are two of the Mets' top 5 prospects. I think Brandon Sproat was number 5, Jet Williams was number 3. And I think this says a lot that with the Mets trading away. Jet Williams, how much they think of AJ Ewing, which is, I think, just a year behind him. Jet Williams will now slot in as the number 3 prospect in that Brewers system behind Luis Pena and Jesus Mate. And Brandon Sproat's the number 6 prospect in that system there. Jet Williams last year made it up to AAA with Syracuse and was pretty good. 209, 285, 433, 718 OPS. Limited sample size, 34 games. And he is somebody who hit really well. He had an 867 OPS in Binghamton, part of that Rumble Ponies team that was had the best record in AA. And on the flip side, Brandon Sproat, he struggled in AAA a little bit last year. He had an ERA above 4 in AAA. He did pitch for the Mets a little bit. He had 4 starts, 20 and 2/3 innings pitched, 4.79 ERA. Wouldn't shock me if they put him in a bullpen role potentially, or if he's a solid starter. I have a feeling Brendan Sproat's somebody who, if you want to, you can use him in 2-inning stints, and he can hit you 102 miles an hour and be a really, really strong reliever. This was a lot to give up. It was. As a Mets fan, I'm more concerned about giving up Sproat than Williams because I'm higher on Ewing than I am Williams when it comes to that position. And I'm also higher on Carson Bench. So the Mets had a couple guys above Jet Williams, and Jet Williams has been trade bait for the last over a year, it feels like. So the Mets land Freddy Peralta, which is one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball. He's also, I believe, the only one of 3 pitchers to throw at least 500 innings the last 3 seasons. So he is durable. He'll go out there. I think he'll give you a low to mid 3s ERA, give you 30-something starts, and be somebody who you can rely on handing the ball to every 5 days for the New York Mets, which last year they desperately, desperately needed. So I really like this move for the Mets. Was it a lot to give up? Yeah, but I do think we'll see an extension before opening day as well for Freddy Peralta. And I think that he is going to have a solid role in this rotation as the number 1. And the Mets rotation is better for it with this trade. Let's move on to the other New York team with the New York Yankees re-signing Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger re-signs with the New York Yankees here, 5 years, $162.5 million. Does have opt-outs after year 2 and after year 3 of this contract. Player options for those for 2028, 2029. And it does include a $20 million signing bonus. So really, this is for the next 2 years, unless Bellinger thinks that he won't get more money than 29, almost $30 million in 28, 29, 30. It'll be the next 2 years at $36.5 million a year. The Yankees needed to make this move. This was a bat that fits perfectly in that ballpark. And he's somebody who wanted to be a Yankee, I feel like, and should have continued being a Yankee. And Bellinger is somebody who now, is he worth $36.5 million? I mean, that's probably just the going rate at for top free agents at the moment. But he had a really strong year with the New York Yankees last year. Was arguably their second best hitter behind Judge, put up a 5-WAR season, and had a really nice 272, 334, 480 slash line for an 813 OPS. He played 152 games, and he is somebody who's flexible. He'll play corner outfield. He'll play center field. He can play first base if you need him to. He is versatile, and he is definitely a player that that is someone the Yankees desperately needed to keep. And with that smooth left-handed swing in that ballpark, he is absolutely his swing, that player archetype was meant to be a New York Yankee, and the Yankees know that, and they were able to keep him, which I think was a really, really strong move for the New York Yankees. Because then you look, if you don't make that signing, you look at what the Yankees have potentially as their pieces for next year, and I don't know how confident you are in a lineup that would have someone like Jason Dominguez playing every single day rather than Cody Bellinger. Now that lineup, they're returning a lot of players from last year, but they had the best offense in baseball. Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Rice, Stanton, Chisholm, McMahon, Caballero, and Wells. This is still a really strong Yankees lineup, and they are going to be definitely a threat in the AL East and in the American League, and what feels like a very open American League to compete to make the World Series next year. And Cody Bellinger was a big bat that they needed in the middle of that lineup to protect Judge. And they go ahead and they get the job done, and they re-sign him. Big contract, but I don't know if he plays the full 5 years on that contract, but a move the Yankees needed to make nevertheless. So that was a really strong move. Now we move on to the trade that popped up, and I was like, whoa. And I was kind of questioning what the Texas Rangers are doing here. because when we look at this trade here, I just typed in 5 prospects. Mackenzie Gore to the Texas Rangers in exchange for shortstop Gavin Feen, which is now Washington's number 5 prospect in their system. Right-handed pitcher Alejandro Rosario, which is they're going to be their 11th. Devin Fitzgerald, which is 12. Yermi Cabrera, which is 17. And Albimelech Ortiz, which is 24th. It was a bunch of younger, higher upside prospects. Gavin Feen was the 12th overall pick in the draft last year for the Texas Rangers out of high school. Alejandro Rosario is somebody who we're going to have to keep an eye on a little bit because I believe he would have been major league ready last season, but he had Tommy John, which was pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So he's going to miss the 2026 season and part of the 2027 season, but he is somebody that the Rangers were high on and the Nationals are high on that can make an impact at the major league level when he's back from Tommy John surgery. Devin Fitzgerald, another young infielder there, Yermi Cabrera and Albimelech Ortiz as well are a few young prospects to help stack that Nationals farm system, which when you look at the Nationals, they are going through a rebuild. They're not hiding it. They have new management, and they are looking to rebuild from the ground up. And they still have some nice pieces at the major league level, but this is going to be a multi-year rebuild. Hence, with the number 1 overall pick last year being Eli Willits, a 17-year-old, the youngest first overall pick in MLB history. And the Nationals are going to be a rebuilding team. For the Rangers, this sets up a really strong rotation for them. Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, Mackenzie Gore as the 3, Jack Leiter and Jacob Latz round out the 4 and the 5. And Jack Leiter really stepped up last year as the 4. And this could be the best rotation in baseball. The Texas Rangers. They have one fully healthy and at full potential. This could be one of the best rotations in baseball like it was last year. This Rangers team pitched really well last year. What's the one thing they lacked, though? Bats. They need more bats. And they did acquire Brandon Nimmo, but they traded away Marcus Semien to do so. And then that was a bat upgrade for them. Wyatt Langford, Corey Seager, Jock Pedersen, Jake Berger, Evan Carter, Josh Jung, Josh Smith, Danny Jensen. I'm not scared of this offense when it looks at it there. Corey Seager, fully healthy, could be an MVP candidate. Absolutely. But a lot of them are unknowns, or they had that one breakout season in 2023. And this Rangers team is, I think, offensively going to struggle again this year. And their pitching is going to be very, very good. But with that being said, is it going to be good enough for them to win enough games to make the playoffs with a lineup that could struggle to score runs at times? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But that being said, Mackenzie Gore is a great addition for them. I feel like they gave up a decent amount to do so, but that's kind of the going rate. This is a very similar package to what the Rays got for Shane Baz. But this is more of a quantity over quality. But, I mean, you get a 12th overall pick if you're the Nationals from last year's draft. I like that pickup from Gavin Feen and 4 other prospects that could amount to something. If 2 or 3 amount to major league players, this was a successful trade. And for Mackenzie Gore, the Rangers will have him through 2027. And the thing with them here is if they struggle this year and look to go through a rebuild, the Rangers, they can trade him away with 1 more year left. So Mackenzie Gore does have 2 years of control. That's something to keep in mind as well. So the Rangers have Gore under control until the end of the 2027 season. So that's something to keep in mind as well. But that is everything from this little update. We have Luis Robert, Freddy Peralta to the Mets, Cody Bellinger to the Yankees, and Mackenzie Gore to the Rangers. If you guys are enjoying the content, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already. Turn on post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we come out the video here at Baseball Talk with your brothers. That's going to do it for this one. Well, thank you guys so much for watching.